Hey again, fellas, and welcome back to With a Y. I've been talking about, a lot of current events, if you can call random stuff that happens on Twitter current. I've been doing a lot of, reaction, call, and response content on the channel recently, talking about current events, if you can call just random shit happening on Twitter current events. But one of the original things I started this channel for was trying to, do storytime stuff on it. And I want to make sure I'm still worming some of that in here because it's a thing I want to keep open to the future. Somehow they managed to worm their way into my commentary on videos that are about something happening right now, but I wanted to hone in on something a little more specific today, and that is my childhood fears. One of my biggest ones, if not the biggest. But as I'm sure you know and are traumatized by at this point, humans are just everything that happened before them, compounded on the stuff that's about to happen to them. So there's building blocks I gotta set up here, all the way back to the early 2000s. My favorite superhero ever is Spider-Man. That's not exactly a secret or a very unique take, but he's the GOAT. In the Spider-Man I originally came to love growing up was Tobey Maguire's, the Sam Raimi movies, that original trilogy in the 2000s. I was enamored by those things. My first ever print was a really big one of Spider-Man that I got framed and had it on my dresser as an 8-year-old. I almost knocked that dresser down on top of myself once, and the picture went with it. My Dark Souls dodge rolled out of the way, and the picture was okay, thankfully. But that interest in Spider-Man never really went away. Even to this day, I still fiend for the next Spider-Man related piece of media coming out like the next guy does. So you can assume that it also lasted throughout my childhood. I was 5 years old when I started watching the Spider-Man Raimi movies. I saw Spider-Man 1 by chance and got really into it from there, and so I actively sought out seeing Spider-Man 2 because, I need more of this, put it in my veins. I've literally been to the pizza spot in that movie in New York. So the first and last Raimi Spider-Man movie I was actually around for the hype cycle of, if you can even call whatever consciousness I had as a 6-year-old being aware. I do remember being excited for Spider-Man 3 though. Now some of you might know that Raimi absolutely hates Spider-Man 3 because it's not the movie he wanted to make at all. He wanted it to be about Sandman and Harry Osborn Green Goblin, which two villains at one time is already a lot, but Sony was basically forcing him to put Venom in there because, it's a fan favorite character and they're trying to cash in. It's ooh, evil Spider-Man, do the black suit! The thing is, I was quite literally a baby Spider-Man fan. I don't know the names of all these villains, I only know the one that's on my Leapfrog. That was my main interaction with Spider-Man media, was Leapfrog games at the time. No cartoons, no comics, no nothing. The Leapfrog. So I had never heard of Venom before. He was an unknown quantity to my puny little brain at the time, and I'm not gonna lie, it really fucked me up when I was younger. Knowing that Spider-Man 3 is coming out is one thing, but I didn't really have access to a computer like that, and even if I did, I didn't know how to use a browser, so I didn't see any trailers seeing he was in the movie. I was just excited at the name Spider-Man 3. When I first saw that movie, and I saw the symbiote do what it does, it immediately gave me chills, just the way it would crawl itself, and the way this thing physically crawled scared the daylights out of me, and all that silhouetting in the back. Whoever animated this CGI fluid absolutely put the fear of God in me for the better part of a year, if not longer. Spider-Man doesn't look like he's having a fun time while all this is going down. To me, it was I don't like the idea of being encased in. I imagined it would make me very claustrophobic. Tight spaces are not my favorite thing to be in. And I'm ugh. Particularly this shot where Peter just wakes up in the middle of just being crawled over. It scared the shit out of me. I was terrified to go to bed and wake up to this happening. From the first time I witnessed this thing actually interact with Spider-Man, I was already kind of creeped out. I'm sorry, man. I wasn't on TV tropes. I didn't watch overly sarcastic productions yet. I had no idea that the Dark Mirror was a trope. I just thought it was scary. And it got worse when I realized that the symbiote was physically changing Peter. Watching him become a worse person, I was like, Spider-Man wouldn't do that. Spider-Man wouldn't do that. But I was wrong. Spider-Man absolutely would do that. In fact, he's doing it right now. He just hit his girlfriend. He pushed the first two other guys away without swinging on them, and then he audibly heard Mary Jane's voice calling to him, and that's when he decides to wind up. Okay, man. I'm gonna be honest, I might be projecting me thinking Spider-Man wouldn't do that onto, child me's brain. I don't really think I had a strong sense of morality as a toddler, but I definitely remember the fear. That was real. Just having the creepy crawly get all over me, I didn't like that. I didn't like the thought of it. I didn't want it to happen to me. And the foundation of that was already fucking terrifying, but as the movie goes on, the visuals around Venom they keep getting gnarlier and gnarlier, which just scared the shit out of me. The next one that really fucked me up was definitely the bell tower scene. And what follows, just back to back to my little toddler brain that had no media literacy, just saw back to back freak shit. Walk through this with me, man. I could never erase this scene from my brain.
I want you to kill Peter Parker.
Dude, I was like so deep into being a Catholic back then. Lore, I guess, raised Catholic. There really was some mixed messaging here. I was all like, wait, you can't pray to God to kill someone. He wouldn't do that for you. He would say that's bad and set you right. Just the gumption to hate that hard was something I couldn't process at the time, and these days I strive to embody. I think the thing that started freaking me out more and more was not only the implication, but the further proof that the symbiote, the suit itself, was alive as it like kept Peter inside of it. Him not being able to take it off. Bro, I get like really stressed when I put on a coat and get the zipper caught on something and can't unzip it all the way. Like, that stresses me out. This is a goddamn nightmare, man. I've seen Spider-Man stop a train at this point, just do all sorts of crazy acrobatics fighting random villains with other superpowers, and he's come out on top every time, but this dude is fighting with his literal suit. And to see him, like, struggle with this, like, oh my god, like, the concept of that happening terrified me. Like, the bell tower being its weakness is always cool foreshadowing. I like that. It's part of how he literally gets the suit off himself. But that's all in hindsight, man. Look at this shot and think about what that did to an 8-year-old me's brain. The suit coming alive and pump faking off of him. Oh, like, I think that looks so cool visually now. Like, it is right up my alley with aesthetics. But as a kid, that was terrifying. I saw that face literally when I went to sleep. I would close my eyes and overthink myself so hard that I tricked myself into seeing the silhouette of Venom's eyes and teeth in the void. Very, very stupid. I should have just not done that. Okay, this part is crazy where they frame Peter being there and the bell's literally getting hit as Eddie Brock's prayer being answered by God. He's like, you know what, Eddie? I'll throw you a bone. Here's a chance to kill him yourself. The way it was just like so tentacly and creepy crawly like really freaked me out. Like, that's the type of thing in bugs I still hate the most. As a kid, I think that's gross, but like that's the type of thing that if I see it in real life can still make me jump today. And then like even though Peter's able to get this thing off successfully in the scene, it didn't feel like much of a win because I was just shown the same visual I had previously been scared the fuck out of again. Except when the symbiote crawled its way onto Spider-Man, it was like really stealth-like and it wasn't nearly as violent as this one. Like, bro takes off his coat like he's on fire, because that's practically what this thing is. It's a death sentence. There was a line in the movie that really did it in for me when it said that this thing is literally sapping your life force, and I was like scared of this, A, trapping me inside it, slowly and painfully killing me as it makes me like just throw my life upside down by like ruining my relationships with everybody else. The way it was being presented to me in this movie made me like so scared of the concept of all of that happening at once. Now that I'm older, I know that's just like literally what Spider-Man's life is. But like, look at this. It's literal sludge now, man. They're not even like making it gooey. It's just a fluid simulation at this point, and it's dropping off the side. Like, I could turn a corner on a random block, and this could just be some goo that I see next to a sewer drain. I was scared of piles of mud jumping out at me when I was at the playground, man. And then like the way it just clings to him as well, like it immediately finds a new victim. Like, and there's literally no stopping it. Look at this shit, man. Like, pretty much just enslaving Eddie Brock out of nowhere, and then feeding him mind-altering drugs to, like, make it like him. And then this visual, the first time you fully see Venom's mouth, oh my god, dude, this did not do me any favors after all of that. And, you know, come to think of it, it makes sense that this was directed by Sam Raimi. Like, even if he didn't want this in the movie, he did a really effective job of, like, creating striking imagery for child me to be really petrified by. If you don't know, Sam Raimi is traditionally a horror movie director. He did Army of Darkness, The Evil Dead. Well-regarded shit, man. Well-regarded, scary shit. And he takes that experience with him to any other project he does and applies it, like, in places where it really succeeds at what it wants to do. I can only assume their goal was to scare little children. I take my interpretation of the movie that I watched as a personal affront to me by the director who intended it to have the negative effect on me specifically that it did. Like, this shit, like this face popping up for the first time out of nowhere. It was basically the Foxy jump scare before the Foxy jump scare was a thing. And you know, they make sure they're never short on moments like this because at the very end, they gave what was probably just the scariest, and I didn't realize this at the time, the most Venom-looking Venom shot that we got the whole movie. Maybe he looks less threatening as this kind of guy in his suit look that he had in the Sam Raimi movies, but I still found this plenty terrifying. They did a great job with giving him a bunch of teeth and a mouth. It was bad enough when he was just a life-sapping suit, but you're telling me it can turn me into a big freakazoid monster now? Now look at the shit, man. I want you to LARP as if you were a toddler who has seen nothing terrible in life before. Tell me how you think this would affect you. It's like, what are you doing? No, I need my fix. Yeah, that whole thing, like, really fucked me up, man. I think, like, Eddie dying with the suit at the end as well, like, just kind of made it stick. Like, the real human cost someone. Like, the fact that, like, he was so enraptured by it, he was willing to die trying to get back to it. Ugh. And, you know, to bring it all back around, its impact on me really has carried into my adult life, just compounded in very different ways. So my last experience with the live-action symbiote was in Spider-Man 3, and I wouldn't get one again until 2018, my senior year of high school, when the Venom movie came out, the dedicated one with Tom Hardy. I'm happy to report I was significantly less scared seeing Venom in the Venom movie than I was as a child. And you know, I think they like did a great job with his design considering that they couldn't use a Spider-Man logo. Like they made him big and bulky. I love pretty much any combat scene from that film. Like they really scrapped in that shit. And you know, ever since I got over being scared of the symbiotes, they're like some of my favorite characters in Marvel. For the longest time, I adored Carnage, the red symbiote who's Venom's kid. Like, I really did a 180 on being afraid of them to just being absolutely floored by them. Whenever I saw a symbiote pop up in games or in comics that I was reading, I'd get like so excited because I just fell in love with the concept of black suit Spider-Man. And when we get to Venom specifically, like the real hunky, bulky version, I think it might have affected some fundamental things about me. Listen, I'm just saying, there's a reason that in China they advertised the Venom movie by showing him as like a really, really helpful boyfriend. He's so big and strong and he'll protect you. Like, I don't like men, by the way, I'm straight. They showed a much more positive relationship between the host and the symbiote in this one. In Spider-Man 3, it was just unambiguously bad for the host, but in this, Eddie and Venom are like best friends. Some might even say more than best friends. They say they love each other, and they can always depend on each other because they're always together, and it's like, that kind of closeness sounds like really, really affirming and nice. What a 180 I did, man. Okay, that's about as much emotion that I can put into a video over gameplay commentary. Let me know if you guys want to hear me tell more stories like this, if you got any prompts for ones like them. That kwytebox email is in the description if you want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.